What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So right off the bat, I want to apologize. I haven't been posting as regularly as I would like. I actually got COVID and then the whole family got it, and as you can see, snow has started to fly up here in New England. So the Whipple Hellcat and the ProCharge GTO are actually put away for the winter, so we haven't had a lot to do video wise, and I don't want to just put out complete crap. I want to try to put out decent videos. So I decided to go back to basically where the channel first started. One of the very first videos that we did was using the red Silverado here behind me, which is actually my father's truck. We used it in a video comparing the stock 0 to 60 and quarter-mile times to the times with the SUPERCHIPS programmer. So we're going to go ahead and work off of that and take it one step further. I actually bought a DIABLO T2 EX Platinum for the Hellcat over here when this thing was stock, and I never ended up using it. This is the box for it right here. It's a nice unit. Part number is right there. And it's a nice unit. I didn't end up using it on the Hellcat because we went HP tuners, and especially with how far this thing has come with the 428 and everything else, I wanted to listen to the builder and the tuner that we use, and he recommended that we went with HP tuners, so that's what we did. So I had this DIABLO just kicking around, so I figured I would go ahead and offer it up to my dad. He likes it. We've done a couple other little things to this truck. I think they were all already done at the first time that we tested this thing. The only thing really done to it is the muffler delete, and then we went ahead and put a cheap intake on it. It's a pretty good running truck. It's got about 150,000 miles on it. I'm curious to see the difference between the stock times and the DIABLO times, and then also we're going to compare the DIABLO tune versus the SUPERCHIPS tune. The DIABLO and the SUPERCHIPS both come loaded with a couple different, I'm going to call them canned tunes, and we're really only going to be comparing the 93 tunes, they're race tunes, I guess you'd call them. They're nothing crazy. They are canned, so they got to be safe to the masses, to the public. They don't want to be selling these canned tunes and have people blowing up their cars. So I know that they're not as crazy as like a custom tune or the custom tune we have done on any of the other cars, but I figured it'd be a pretty cool comparison to see what you can buy right out of the box, right off the shelf, throw on your vehicle, and see which one will actually improve the times the most. So we're gonna go ahead and pop the hood on this thing real quick, show you guys that it's just a bone stock 5.3, just a little 5.3 in here, cheap little eBay intake, and like I said, the muffler delete. It does run pretty good. It's obviously not a race truck. It's pretty much just a daily driver. It is four-wheel drive, long bed extended cab. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. We're going to start off with a cold start, and then we're going to run over and fill this thing up with some 93, and then we'll set up the cameras and we'll go ahead and get this thing out and see what we can get for some times. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys that we do have the DIABLO hooked up here. I've got it mounted up here out of the way for him so that it wasn't in his way when he just drives this thing around normally. Tuck the wires all in down along here. We're going to be doing this a little bit backwards because we already have all the data from when we ran the SUPERCHIPS and the stock setup. So we're probably going to use the draggies from those, and I'll put them in somewhere in the video, maybe towards the end, so we compare. Today we're going to just go ahead and take it out on the DIABLO tune here. We'll do a bunch of runs that way, see what we can come up with for a good time, and then sit down and we'll compare everything and see which one actually performed the best. So let's go ahead and get this thing fired up and go throw some fuel in it. Alright guys, so we just got out here to our private testing spot. So we're gonna go ahead and get the cameras all set up. As you've seen, we put some 93 in this thing. We do have the Diablo on the Diablo tune, which is a 93 tune. So we're gonna go ahead and run that. We're gonna go pull out onto our test spot here. We're gonna try to find the most flat or level areas that we can. I'm gonna try tow mode. I'm gonna try it without tow mode. And then I'm also going to be launching from idle, and I might also try launching from the foot brake. Try to build up the RPMs a little bit, get on the torque converter a little bit, and see if it makes much of a difference. I'm going to have my phone going with the dragy, and we also got this GoPro behind us here to get like the in-car view, I guess you could say. Don't think it's going to be anything super exciting or anything super crazy. We're not talking about a huge horsepower vehicle, but it will be cool to compare the different times from the Diablo, the SUPERCHIPS versus stock. I think it's neat that you can just buy these things right out of the box. They already have a tune on them. So let's go out there and see what we can do with this thing. All right guys, so we're gonna go off the foot brake here first. I'm just gonna hold the brake. I'm actually gonna go off idle at first, and then we'll do one at the foot brake. One of these days. Definitely spun a little bit on that one. Alright guys, I turned traction control off for this one. It spun a little bit on the last one and traction control cut power, but we're going to try it again in two-wheel drive and see what happens. I'm going to foot brake it a little bit, probably like 1200 or so. Yeah, it's just spinning. Fuzzy. So, I'm going to try auto 4-wheel drive and see if that helps us. Try foot braking it again. Oh. Car coming. Going after that. Going between them. I'm gonna go between them again. I'm gonna get it up to like 1300 this time and go. Seems like the auto 4-wheel drive is the ticket. It kicks in when you want it and off when you don't. So I think we're going to be using that from now on. That worked really well. I'm going to go between them, yeah. I'm going to get it up to like 1300 this time and go.
30. 60. Quarter mile.
Alright guys, this time I'm going to try it in tow haul mode, or with tow haul mode off, auto, 4-wheel drive, and traction control off. Foot brake again. It didn't spin on that one. It seemed to like being out of tow haul mode better. Shifted a little better. I wanted to try tow haul mode first because it tends to lock the converter up a little bit, but I don't think this thing really had enough power when it would lock the converter to pull through it. So I think going with it in normal mode is a better bet for us. Alright guys, so we just got done making a few runs here. I got them all on the phone for the dragy. I got most of them on the GoPro as well. Like I said, nothing super exciting in here, but I did try to get them. I think the GoPro acted up on one of them. I've been having all kinds of issues with this one. I think it's a GoPro 8. I've got to get a few new ones and get better set up here, get a better camera and things like that. But I think we're about done with the runs. We weren't really improving. We shaved some time off our first run, and then it kind of just, they started to become steady and about the same. So I'm not going to keep doing run after run for no reason. If we were shaving time off, I'd keep going. So we're going to head back to the house. We will pull up some of the footage from last time that we did this with the other tuner and the stock file, and then we will compare times quick and see what we think about this thing. See what we think about the canned Diablo tune that comes with the Diablo tuner here. So let's head back to the house. All right, guys, so we are obviously at the house now. We went through some of the video that we had of the stock runs and the super chip runs. You guys have already seen the runs that we did today with the Diablo. You guys can also go back and check out the other runs if you want to go back on the channel under, I think it's a tuner battle playlist. It's got the red Chevy on the cover of that playlist. You guys can find those videos and go through and check them all out. If you don't have the time to go back and check it out, I will put up the fastest runs from when we did that video so that we can compare. I'll put them up here in a few minutes. But a couple things real quick that I noticed when I went through everything, and also just from driving the truck, what I felt and what I thought about how the tunes performed. So first off, the Diablo definitely shaved some time off. I was able to get it very consistent with the super chips and with the stock file. I was having a very hard time getting consistent times. The stock file wasn't as bad. I didn't put all the runs in this video. I also didn't put all the runs in the previous videos because it would have just been tons and tons of runs. I picked and chose some of the medium, like the runs throughout the whole process, and obviously I put in the fastest runs that we were able to make. With the stock file, I was consistently able to run right around a 16.3. I had many runs back to back where I was running 16.3 and right around 84, 85 mile an hour. It was very consistent. I'm going to go ahead and throw that run up right now, or one of those runs. You guys will be able to check it out. You'll see in this run, the truck shifts very good, just like it should on a stock file. It was very slow. I know a second doesn't sound like a whole lot when you're talking about a 16-second truck or a 15-second truck, but in the grand scheme of things, a second is quite a bit. It's quite a noticeable difference here. So in that run right there, you will see that we ran a 16.31 at 84 mile an hour. 0 to 60 on that was 8.3. Obviously very slow. It's a stock 5.3 truck, but it ran good, all things considered. So then we've got the super chips run. There was a few things I didn't like about the super chips. I'm going to go ahead and throw that video in as well. The truck shifts very, very hard. You guys will notice in the video here, this thing chirps second gear every single time. I think there might have been once or twice that it might not have, but it just shifted excessively hard. After the fact, I did go in and play with the options that you get when flashing the vehicle, and I tried a bunch of different things, and the truck just did not seem to want to shift that well. Also in that run, we were not consistent. I did tons and tons of runs. I didn't put them on the video like I said, but I took note of all of them. I still have the video for myself. And when I looked back on it, I was just honestly pretty shocked at how inconsistent that tuner was. It did overall shave off some time. I put in the best runs, and they were the best 2 runs. If you go back and look at the other video, there's 2 15-second runs. And those were the 2 fastest runs I was able to get out of this thing the entire time. I mean, I did countless runs with it, and it just was not consistent. It would run a 16.5, then a 15.5, it would run 82 mile an hour, and then it would run 89 mile an hour. I wasn't very happy with it, to be honest with you. If it was something that you could get very cheap on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, is it better than nothing? I would say yes, and just leave the transmission tuning basically stock, or as close to stock as you can get it with that programmer, and just run the engine file. With that being said, we then have the Diablo, which you guys have already seen our fastest runs with that. I will go ahead and throw that one up right now as well. Super happy with how that one shifted. I really liked how the truck drove on that. That's where this truck has been for quite a while now. My father drives it around daily on that 93 tune. I drive it all the time. I hop in it when I want to take it, or for videos, whatever. And I have been very happy with how it performs with that tune. It's a very smooth run. Now, in the videos, it does shift a little bit on the hard side, but I also had the Trendz tuning on hard. So I did play with it after the fact, and I played with it on firm and some other things, and firm seems to be the sweet spot. It didn't really seem to improve the times. It didn't shave any more time off, or I would have put one of them in the video, but it definitely seemed, the truck seemed happier, and it just seemed smoother, and I was also able to run that same 15.3. This tuner was extremely consistent. I only put a couple of the videos in here. The very first run was very slow at 16.5, and that was obviously because I didn't know what it was going to want. The truck acted very differently with each one of these tunes in the truck. Just completely different, whether it wanted foot brake or all-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, or traction control off if it wanted me to foot brake it to 1300 or 1500 or whatever the case may be. And once I found what this tune liked, I was able to duplicate that 15.3 multiple times. I was able to get 15.3s back to back. The 0 to 60 time also shaved off some time, and it was very consistent. I think the video was a 17.36 or a 7.36, and I was able to run that back to back. So I was very happy with that. I think all in all, I think the Diablo would be what I would choose. If you guys were looking for one, I would choose the Diablo regardless. If these are the 3 things you have to choose from, stock, SUPERCHIPS, or Diablo, Diablo hands down, just because the option is there in the future to progress with it and to grow and do custom tuning and all the other things. I personally run HP tuners on all of my vehicles, but HP tuners doesn't offer a canned tune, so I can't compare that. I can't compare a canned tune to a custom tune. So that's why we have the 3 options in front of us that we have. But again, like I said, I would definitely recommend the Diablo. I was extremely happy with it. It was very consistent. All in all, the Diablo versus the stock file, we shaved off a full second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in all honesty, that is a lot. We shaved off a full second, and we gained a couple mile an hour. Always a huge plus when you can do those things, especially on a naturally aspirated truck running just a tune. I was actually pretty impressed with the gains that we did get. So I hope this video could help you guys out. I hope that you learned something from this, or it might help you make a decision in the future on one of your vehicles, whether you want SUPERCHIPS, the Diablo, or if you just want to hold out stock and go with HP tuners and custom tuning. I will leave that decision up to you guys. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video with the 428 Whipple Hellcat that's right here behind me, the ProCharge GTO, or the Duramax. We will catch you on the next one.